I promised you and our listeners some free agent names.
Mm-hmm.
Christian Walker, you know him well.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about him as a player, as a teammate, as a person, and as a potential target for the Tigers?
I mean, I've known Walk for years, and Christian Walker, I think, still holds the record for most RBIs in the College World Series. He went 3 times with South Carolina. So this guy's been a run producer since he was a freshman in college, right? Tremendous defensive player. And he has willed himself to that. He was I don't think he would mind me saying this. He was a terrible defensive first baseman in the minor leagues when he was in the Baltimore system. He is now, I think, the best. I think he's one of the better throwing first basemen. He is exceptionally rangy. He puts together good competitive at-bats. I do think there are times when things aren't going well for him where his body language shows you that it's not going well for him. And so that can get a little frustrating to watch from time to time, but it's because he cares. He has done a lot of work to reshape himself physically over the last half dozen years. I think he's going to be a highly sought after free agent. I mean, Pete Alonso is going to be the big name at first base. And Christian Walker, because he's a little bit older at 32, is going to have a little bit lower price tag. And so there's going to be more teams that are involved. But he is a really good defender who hits the ball very, very hard and knows the strike zone, doesn't chase, does all the things that you want. And he can make he's one of the few first basemen that can really make your infield defense better. He'd be, I think, a great fit there because a lot of his power really comes to the pull side. He's at his best when he's using right center field, but more for doubles than home runs. I think he'd be a great fit in Detroit, but I think there's probably about 20 teams that feel that way about him.
Well, I got 3 names for you: Christian Walker, Anthony Santander, and Alex Bregman. You know what this Tigers team needs. Looking at first base, looking at third base, maybe corner outfield, but the right-handed bat, they need it. Those are 3 names. If you had to pick one of those 3 players for the Tigers in free agency, I'm not asking you to pick the best player, but I'm asking you to
Alex
pick the one
Bregman, without a doubt, is a culture changer. I think the investment in Bregman, in terms of production, Santander and Walker are a little bit older, so maybe there's more there production-wise. I think the number that Bregman gets may surprise some people based on the fact that he had a slower start this year, right? And the numbers haven't been these eye-popping 40 home run seasons, and he's taken advantage of really pulling the ball in the air at home to get to a lot of his power. But I just think that if you're going to invest money in a player who has a chance to bring intangibles that change the expectations and the culture of an organization, I don't think that there's anybody quite like Alex Bregman on that free agent market. I don't think Soto does that. I think Soto's a better offensive player for sure, and he's going to be the most sought after free agent, and I wouldn't hesitate giving him the money if I had it to be able to sign him, to put him in the middle of my lineup. But I think of those 3 names you mentioned, I would do whatever it took to get Alex Bregman. I would not be surprised if AJ Hinch feels the same way. I just think that you've got stars and you have winning ball players, and sometimes I don't want to say it's rare, but it doesn't happen all the time where those 2 things overlap. And to me, it does with Bregman. I think he is, as much for his production, what he means in terms of preparation, clubhouse, edge, commitment to winning. I felt that way about him when he was a freshman at LSU. I feel that way about him now. I would back up the Brinks truck for him. I think he'd be a sensational fit with the Tigers.